Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode corporate filings. And today we're diving into FTAI Infrastructure Inc.'s August 7th report. And let me tell you, it looks like they're keeping things pretty straightforward this time. But we'll see if there's a hidden story beneath the surface. Before we get started, if you love getting these no-nonsense breakdowns of company reports, make sure you're subscribed and join our Discord community. Linked in the description below for more exclusive content. So what we have here is a current report, basically a snapshot of what's happening right now. The big news is FTAI Infrastructure, or FIP as they call themselves, released their results for the quarter that ended on June 30th of 2025. Think of it like this, they're telling us how they did in the spring, and this report is like bringing a friend along to read that update. Now, FIP is incorporated in Delaware, a common place for companies to set up shop. They're listed on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol FIP, and you might recognize them if you're into infrastructure, which is exactly what they do: improve and build essential stuff that keeps our world running. Their main products are things like their common stock, which represents ownership in the company. And where are they traded, you ask? Well, their market, a pretty big stage. The core of this report is about their financial health and results. They've put out a press release to announce how they did in the second quarter of 2025, which ended on June 30th. This is the most important part for us because it tells us if the company is making money and if its operations are going well. They've attached that press release to this report as Exhibit 99.1. Now, this report is being furnished, which is a bit of a legal dance. It means they're giving us the information, but they're not technically treating it as official filing in the same way they might with other documents. This is pretty standard for announcing earnings, so don't read too much into that wording, but it's good to know. And as for exhibits, they've included that press release we just talked about, which is Exhibit 99.1, and also Exhibit 104, which is for something called the cover page interactive data file. This is essentially a machine-readable version of the document's first page, designed for computers to understand easily. Alright, now for the signature block. This is where the company officially says, yes, this is us, and this is what we're reporting. It's signed by Kenneth J. Nicholson, who is their Chief Executive Officer and President. This is pretty standard. The top boss put their name on it to show it's official. Now, looking at the actual filing itself, the key item here is item 202, which signals that the company is reporting its financial results. Since the document is basically forwarding us to a press release for the actual numbers, and that press release isn't included here, we don't have specific dollar figures or growth percentages to crunch in this particular filing. It's more of a notification that the results are out. However, this format tells us FTAI Infrastructure Inc. has announced their earnings for the second quarter of 2025. Typically, these announcements cover things like revenue, profit, earnings per share, and often provide guidance for the future. Investors and analysts will be looking at these numbers to see if FIP is meeting expectations, growing its business, and managing its costs effectively. For a company like FTAI Infrastructure, their performance is likely tied to major projects and investments in infrastructure. Things like interest rates, government spending on infrastructure, and the overall economic climate can directly impact their business. If they announce strong earnings, it could mean they're winning more contracts, their existing projects are performing well, or they've managed to cut costs efficiently. On the other hand, weak earnings might suggest project delays, cost overruns, or a slowdown in their industry. Without the actual press release content here, it's difficult to give a detailed financial analysis. But typically, we'd be looking for trends. Is their revenue growing compared to the same quarter last year? Are their profits increasing, or are costs eating into their margins? Are they managing their debt well to fund new projects? These are the kinds of questions we'd ask if we had the full financial picture. So what's my take on this filing? As it stands, this 8K is primarily an announcement and a reference to a press release. It tells us that the financial update has been made public. The strength of FTAI Infrastructure's performance, its direction, and any significant risks or opportunities would all be detailed in that press release. We'd need to see those numbers to assess their growth strategy, competitive position, and any potential headwinds they might be facing. For now, it's a procedural filing, signaling that the company is communicating its financial results. To get a real grasp of where FTAI Infrastructure is heading, we'd need to dig into that reference press release and analyze the specific financial metrics. Alright, that's our quick look at this FTAI Infrastructure filing. What are your initial thoughts based on what they've announced so far? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more corporate decoding. And don't forget to join our Discord community for deeper discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.